and talking about a shopping list of a certain creators who sells beauty products, and this poor woman who gave her a whole bunch of money accidentally and actually just said, here, you can use this card if you need it or something. And then they showed
the one that ended up getting a hold of the Venmo card, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, it was a card, I think. And it was like, do you have a PIN for that card? Used everything but less than $1 on this.
She took $5,000 cash out from the rip.
Right. Tried to say that that was a sale on the business. So the IRS is going to have fun with this. But either way, what happened on that was that somebody got a hold of the list of things that were purchased using that money. I guess because maybe the card holds onto it. And there were things like TikTok and DoorDash and stuff like that. And then but the whole thing was this poor woman that donated had a son in the hospital at the same time with a brain bleed. And there was no response from that person who just nabbed all that money. And no return of any of that money. But what I found interesting is that they know not only that the person did it, but what was actually purchased with it. So I wonder why they can't, I don't know, maybe they just won't do anything about it. But it was the weirdest thing in the world to see that they had that kind of inside information. I was like, good Lord.
And what's really fucked up, that same period, they had another person that we all know around here that gave them money for a car and all kinds of shit, but was unaware that somebody else already had. So they got thousands and thousands more off of that stuff, let alone the ones that are too embarrassed and shit to come forward that probably help them throw money at it too.
But again, it was that same situation where like the creator was told who to go after, who to look for in order to get this kind of a thing to happen. So it isn't just a matter of finding our bank accounts or non-existent bank accounts. It's a matter of people knowing how to do that.
Well, apparently that one for Scott H and quite a few other creators in that one's chat one night bought them raffle tickets for that one that had been turned over for the gaming or whatever commission because it was legal to hold. And Scott knew this. Yet here they are having that person all raffle tickets, and they spent like $500 or $600 buying all these creators that were in Cat's chat and all that shit raffle tickets.
There's not one of us who would say no, but some people get overwhelmed by the fact that this is a person. So we're talking again about this creator who's very well known, and it's that whole picnic thing you talked about, like where if you can like become a friend. This person said she had never spoken to this creator before, except for the first time on the phone that they were having a panic attack about needing money, and that's when this credit card thing happened. And I think that it's just up to all of us to do our own research and think about it, be who we are. And we can kind of tell who they've been talking to.
Well, yeah, I mean, Floppy and all them kind of put that together for their mouths, but yeah, they and then who they were trying to target last night and put that on, it's pretty apparent. But the thing is, they spin the narrative, be like, oh, they had her by the shoulders, she had this mama bear reaction to the vehicles and all this. I'm like, okay, one way or the other, they're like, oh, this person definitely knows her, and they've got her like by the balls, and she's acting super strange, and abusing her kid and this and then they turn around like, oh yeah, she was definitely having a mama bear reaction too. It's like, man, it's another person that you could potentially almost kill, just like you did my mom a few weeks ago. Leave my people alone. It's that simple. Yeah, I'm pretty pissed. So yeah, like, you got a mama, you got a mama bear reaction because mama bears fed the fuck up with people fucking with my family and my loved ones to a degree that you're almost killing them.
Oh, which is once again the whole real life versus
they showed they were stalking us again during a set amount of time, and it's like that right there would piss anybody off. They trigger me because I could keep a straight face. I could be like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But on some of those things, you know what happens if I don't say a word or I don't do whatever? Then what happens is then they offer that out to see she's lying. She's hiding. We know it's there. Here's the picture to show proof. So why didn't she answer? Why didn't she? I mean, she's hiding something. And then that looks even more suspect and gets us stalked and called liars even more and tormented even more. So sometimes it's in my best interest to quote out. But the thing is, all the way back at my brother's services and things, there's pictures online of me in that vehicle, y'all. But they're acting like it's something new. And look, it's on the videos of them coming back here. They've already aired stalking and doing whatever, But now they're going to bring it up. Like last night when they about killed my mom, now they're going to fight with another family member that's also vulnerable. And it's what they're going to fucking do, dude. It's another fucking red truck bullshit crazy fest. Which are the most vulnerable amongst our family. And it ain't going to fly, man.
Oh, I wish, the group. I'm talking about you. And, but she's like instantly the first in line for everything. She knows exactly what she wants. Nobody else gets to tell her what to do. So she's like me when I was younger.
Yeah, and Dude's not wrong. She's like, and I roll up there. I can hear it in Dude's comment.
Yeah.
She says, yeah, it's not like law enforcement's not covered it already in 17 months. They're aware of every vehicle here with like instantly. You know what I'm saying? That night during dark, They were already out at families' places. They were at anywhere and everywhere in vehicles and asking us about stuff every day, all day. They re-inspect, all these things have been done. If you think for 1 minute that everything about all of us and all of our families is not known, and they got to think these vehicles are all here every time they show up, I mean, come on.
Like they've been there a few times. If there were purpose to it, they could come and say whatever they want, whatever they'd like, right?
Chaos, and for people to think that innocent people are sus and fry neighbor, Idaho neighbor, babysitter, neighbor, witness, POI. Somebody's always sus, even after the cops say there's only one suspect and the prime suspect, and then they're arrested and put in jail. Look what they're doing in Leilani's case.
Oh.
Tragedy.
We've been doing this all of our lives.
Well, if it takes clothing, I have many out here that seem to want to wear my clothing in my skin.
I heard you say that. That is the eeriest, most creepy thing. People should not be imitating you.
My safe space had people send her and find her my Pink Floyd hoodie.
I heard about that. And that was someone that was like really kind of
and there's a random quote ex sort of semi-local that's notorious for lying, and we busted them out several times, including Summer's vigil party, at the year mark. And they lied on Ben Hill and the people there protecting the road, and then went straight to Justin. And I was like, wait a minute. And I caught him lying, and the rest of YouTube will use to the story. And they're like, wait, that one, Happy Face, is definitely a fucking liar. Hold up. But then this one has went out and bought my pajamas and actively sought them out among other clothing items and things, and is wearing them. And I don't even pay attention to that one ever, but
that is freaking weird. I just don't see it as
little corner nooks in their homes to pattern and look like where I'm sitting.
I can't.
They sit there day to day, and it's not just one creator; it's many that do this, and they do little nooks, and they make them look as close as they can. They get the clothing items over and over and over again. T-shirts, you name it. Mm-hmm.
That is insane. I heard one panel jokingly talking about what they were going to do on Halloween, and heard somebody say something like that. But I thought that was crass and rude and stupid. But it was Halloween.
Thing, and it's not just for parody purposes. And also some of it is to make fun of the fact that our abuser comes online every single time. And Monster also shows up to court every court date wearing one of the last shirts that I bought him and stuff. Every time it's the same shirt. Every time.
Oh, it's so freaking ridiculous.
It's cute, right?
Think about something like that being so obvious and so pressing. It's like something that they're trying to harass you with. I mean, it is a harassment.
It is part of the narcopathic type of abuser he is. It's not just them harassing. It's part of the abuse. It's part of how scary it is. And, not all law enforcement or courts or these are trained in that type of, and to spot it. And, it's scary. And it's like people are like, oh, but, especially flip scripts and shit. Like, they don't understand how dangerous another fucking human being is. But when you literally every day expect to be murdered, they're told how you are going to be murdered in detail and how they want to do it. And as their proclivities change, the manner in which they want to kill you changes, and the way in which they abuse you changes. It's different when you've survived that, and you have a whole world trying to help flip script with it, which is a notorious thing for their type of abusers to do as well. Even though for years, like I said, they've been very open about abusing me. Now all of a sudden, they're just like those in person did at work or wherever I was admitting to it, and I blame it on her. She deserved it. But the truth is, if you think a monster from the first time they hit me and beat me in front of dozens and dozens and dozens of our my friends, really, but in public, and then it escalated from there for decades, and to where they beat me openly in public in broad daylight and otherwise, and kidnapped me in cars and abused the fuck out of me and attempted to murder me on roadways and things. Do you think what they were doing behind the scenes was any better? Most abusers never abuse in front of other people. This one absolutely did in front of crowds of them and cameras and otherwise for decades. What do you think was happening to us behind the scenes?
No kidding. People don't think that way, though. They almost blow it off like it's some sort of a bad joke. I don't even know how to explain it, but like people turn the other way. It's like, you know what? I'll equate it to something else. There are two schools of thought on this, but when something tragic happens to you, like let's say, you have cancer, people run the other way. They don't know how to approach it. They don't know what to say. They kind of suddenly don't want to talk about it. Or if you lose a child, they do the same thing. They don't have that capacity emotionally to have empathy. So you see a sense of normalcy and your sense of right. And the easiest thing to do for most people is to turn and walk away. Well, you must have provoked it or deserved it or whatever, right?
And Silver over sharing merch, right? She's selling merch that makes fun of a domestic violence survivor still openly being abused on a panel, and what is being levied at them while supposedly being a champion for it.
And people are wearing that stuff. What? Who's drinking their coffee every morning out of a Jodie-Spew cup? I'm sorry. I think they need help. Help. I mean, not just like you need help, like,
AB got the mercy up in my face, filled with lymphatic fluid because the cancer and lymph nodes and all that thing. And they had upset me so badly those 2 or 3 days, and Monster had me to where that what happened was my immune system went haywire, and then the buildup of lymphatic fluid again in my face. And now AB and all them, they have puzzles like that's fucking cute and coffee cups.
not cute.
And it's like, yeah, it's real cute, I mean, my family thought I'd had a fucking stroke because it affected nerves and stuff so bad on that left side. I mean, like, they were begging me to go into the fucking ER to call an ambulance. And I didn't, and, but here's this time immortalized with thumbnail bullshit, and these some bitches are like, yeah, a cancer lady going through abuse that we helped torment her so badly those few days that this happened to her, and, yeah, let's
I would have wanted you to go to the hospital